Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rob Satch from Feedbackwrench. If you're starting an outsourced accountant model, watch my other videos if you want to look at how to do this. I started a firm here in Lakeville, Minnesota, and I want to help empower other people. I've had so many people reach out to me. These little videos, they don't get hundreds and thousands of views, but they get all sorts of accountants looking to start their own business and be successful. So if you're wondering how to make more money, boy, you could have $20,000 a month going like 15 to 20 clients if you do it right. That's not a tax season that you're going to hate. You're going to add great value. I'm telling you, this is the way to have a successful firm that's meaningful. And I could give you all the backstory of how I found out that this is great, but we had Nuance Financial Tax and Accounting out of Lakeville, Minnesota. That's what I had built up and sold out of. Here's something that's going to happen as you're going. What do you do if you don't know how to do a service? What do you do if you're a bookkeeper and you don't know how to do taxes, or if you're a tax person and you don't know how to do bookkeeping or payroll? I'm telling you, you watch one of my other videos. I talked about you got to go all in on the rolled up all-in-one accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and tax service. You cannot do a la carte. I'm telling you. You will be much better served doing a monthly fee and only working with people that will allow you to be their outsourced accountant, because then you can add true value, then you can impact their taxes, then you can make their life easy, and they will be a specific kind of customer too. I'm telling you, there's a type of person that doesn't want to deal with anything and just wants you to handle it for them, and you'll be able to find them. But what do you do if you don't know what you're up to? What do you do if you don't know how? It's 2020, folks. You can self-teach yourself anything, okay? And I'm not some YouTube guru trying to tell you how to get rich. I'm going to show you how to grind. This is not an easy thing, but it can be done. And here's two things I want you to think of. So first of all, there are resources everywhere that will teach you how to do the bookkeeping, the full-on tax returns, and all the complexities of a tax return, whether it's doing all of your schedules for depreciation schedules, or whether it's an 1120S or a Schedule C, or if you just doing individual tax returns, all that tax advice you can find out from one source, okay? You have to go, I want you to do two things. One, you have to get legally approved to do those taxes. So I want you to jump onto Google and I want you to search become a professional tax preparer and then your state. Becoming a professional tax preparer and then your state. And what you'll see is you gotta go get your little coupon from the IRS. You gotta jump through some hoops, and each state has a little bit different situation. And you might have to do some continuing ed and some certifications and whatnot. And it might be worth it. Maybe you could go become an enrolled agent. You don't need to though, and that's what I'm gonna talk about here. And you don't need to become a CPA. Just go get legally prepared to do it. And then here's the resource, okay? I want you to self-teach yourself, and I want you to back that up with discounted execution, okay? So first of all, how do you teach yourself how to do this? Whether it's bookkeeping, accounting, or tax, there are three resources. NOLO, N-O-L-O books. You got to remember that there are books out there designed to let business owners do this themselves. I'm a business owner. I do it myself. I'm actually not a CPA. I help people with tax planning, but I partnered with a CPA. I understand the fundamentals of business and how to grow a business. You're the accountant, okay? But here's what you've got to trust me in, is that there are resources out there that will teach a numbskull business owner how to do this. Therefore, there is sure doggone it some resources that are going to teach a highly disciplined, organized accountant or potential accountant or a future accountant or an accounting student how to do this. So in taxes, I want you to go get the NOLO books, N-O-L-O. They have books for S Corps, for LLCs. They will teach you how to do everything, folks. Don't be stuck. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to go get an accounting degree. You can if you want to. I think it's a waste of money. You need the practical skills of how to help a small business, and then the sales skills of how to do it, and the discipline on execution. You'll get there, but that's the first thing. Self-teach yourself using NOLO books. And then I would also say that QuickBooks Online, QBO, you don't need to have a really fancy bookkeeping software. Use QuickBooks, and you can use Intuit Payment. So Intuit and QuickBooks has this professional or small business. Look at, I've got a link. I totally get a $10 spiff if you use the link. But there's a link to get where you get QuickBooks Online, you get the payroll software. They even have bookkeeping that you could use for outsourcing it to somebody else. So all you're doing is focusing on the CFO stuff. self-teach yourself. Go log into Intuit, become a pro advisor for Intuit. So one, get the NOLO books for the taxes, and then you can, the IRS has publications too, but NOLO books will teach you how to do the taxes. Become a pro advisor for Intuit, a QuickBooks pro advisor. They have a training system. They will teach you how to do all that. You can self-teach yourself. And then in payroll, I would say use one of three situations for payroll. Either one, use the Intuit because it's totally connected to QuickBooks. And you could even use for tax software, if you're charging the right amount, just use TurboTax. Just use the Intuit tax program. You could go get Lacert. You can get into their higher end software if you want to, but you could just sit in an Intuit ecosystem and make life pretty easy for yourself. And they'll teach you how to do that, guys. So you can learn their payroll. Their payroll is self-explanatory. Call them. Get customer service on the line and figure that out. Now, you'll have to figure out your 940, your 941s, your SUTA, your FUTA, all of the unemployment stuff. You could figure that out through a NOLO book. NOLO has payroll explainers. And then for tax planning, to understand great financial, so you're going to be the CFO, you're going to help them with tax planning, but you're also just going to be a financial coach. Here's what I would have you read. One, go get Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. Read that. Encourage people to do that. Pay off debt. Build financial momentum. Build margin in their lives. That's huge. You want to empower an entrepreneur? Nudge them to create financial margin in their life. Two, go read Sandy Botkin, Botkin. He's got some tax planning books. Go get into those. Mark Kohler, Kohler. He has a new tax and legal playbook that just came out. Amazing value. Go buy that. Learn that. You're going to learn all the Tax Cut and Jobs Act information, like the bottom line stuff. Go dive into his book. And then get Robert Kiyosaki. He has all these purple books, right? You could do Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Just get the fundamentals of that. But then there's two books, and I think it's Tom Wheeler, I think is what it is, but there's one called The Tax Loopholes of Real Estate, and then there's another one called Tax-Free Wealth, and then there's another set of books out there, and you just want to learn about this. It's called The Gospel of Roth, R-O-T-H. That's a little bit older book, but there's some other ones that talk about basically when you retire, so you want to prep people for tax planning their entire life, right? So when it comes down to business taxes, you have like the timing and how do you do the correct write-offs? How do you get bonus depreciation? How do you do that correctly? Then you have proactive tax planning, getting involved in real estate, using the retirement plans, retirement benefits, healthcare plans, using your cars as big write-offs, right? You've got all of that. And then throughout their whole life, they have their individual state and federal income taxes that you want to help mitigate. And one of the things you need to prep people for is when they get into retirement, depending on how things look, there's this thing called your Social Security benefit that isn't huge, but your taxation in retirement can be huge. And you have traditional and Roth. And there's this thing where some people will want to convert from traditional investments that were deductible during high income years. And then in the first couple of years, they convert over into Roth. And that's because depending on how important Social Security is and the tax brackets look in their life, there's a provisional income bracket situation. And all it is either 0, 50, or 85% of your Social Security will be subject to taxation, which, if you're making $25,000 a year from Social Security, if half of that is subject to taxes, it's not a huge deal, but some people will like to do Roth conversions. There's additional things if you have estate planning. So that would be the other thing, is I would peek into estate planning, multi-generational IRAs, and understand the fundamentals of investing. And that'd be my last book I'd look at, John Bogle's book, B-O-G-L-E. He's the founder of Vanguard. He has a book that talks about how to invest properly in low-cost index funds. But guys, teach yourself. Go learn, okay? Here's the last little thing. Give it away for free, okay? Go. If you don't know how to do taxes, go find a business owner you're doing bookkeeping for and say, hey, can I do your taxes? We're just going to do it on Intuit tax software. It's going to be easy, but I need to get some reps under my belt. Could I do that for free? I don't know. Oh, well, what's your alternative? Oh, I'm going to do it with this CPA. Okay, how about, can I work with you? Execution and actually doing something will get you some necessity, and necessity has the best power in making you figure things out, actually executing and trying something. But just be honest, be full of integrity, and explain to them, hey, I've never done taxes. I've never done bookkeeping. I've never done payroll, but I want to start learning how to do it. I was wondering, could I do it for free for you for the first year? And if there's value to it, maybe you pay me. Maybe at the end of the year when we look back at this, maybe, if we did a good job and you liked it, maybe it would be something you'd sign up for next year. So I'd like to do it for 1 year. I'm telling you, any entrepreneur worth his weight in anything gives stuff away to get experience. It's the best way to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, sure, you can go back to school. You can go get some program. You can go get hired in a firm. You can, but you don't have to. You can do this. Good luck, guys.